that is actually more of a snare sound. Let's see what we got here. Still snares, lots of snares. Oh yeah, here we go. That is probably an 808 kick drum. So this is, that's like a classic hip hop kick drum beat here. So this is a grid right here. You just saw me, I just pressed the key, right? So that's kind of a weird way to create music. And you're right, it is kind of a weird way to make music. But what this allows me to do is I can create kind of a grid sound, right? And then once I've laid that down, then I start moving these loops onto it, and they're locked into that loop. And then, once it's all locked in, then I do a thing called deconstruction, where I start to move them to the left and to the right so that it sounds a little bit more human. But we'll start out with just going with the grid. So we got a kick drum here. We put another one right there. Is that too loud, Ethan?
That's
Am I
fine.
gonna scare your...
Totally fine. We
your
don't have any, but
around
for all the noise they make outside by this classroom, just take that.
Okay.
And the smoke.
And the smoke, too.
Yeah. So now what we've got is just, and we'll keep working on this, but here's what we got for a kick drum. Yeah, sounds like your typical club, right? You're walking down it. I don't know if you guys have been to Capitol Hill, but
It's heartbeat.
this is what you're going to hear every Friday and Saturday night. Right? But we're going to make it more interesting. All right. So now we're going to go in and we're going to add. We've got to get a snare. That's a clap. Claps are good, right? Let's add a clap. All right. So we're going to do a clap here. Actually, we don't want one because that's going to be the wrong spot. Now, how do I know where I'm putting them? That's probably what you're going to. It's just randomly putting boxes. How do you know where to put them? A lot of it is based on the number, right? So I don't want to get too much into music theory, but a lot of rock music is based on a 4/4 beat. And so I'm going to have a sound at the 1, and then a sound right before the 4. And then I'm going to have another one in the middle. So you're going 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. And then where you put the other sounds is sort of dependent on what you want to do. Like what you think sounds good to you. So I'm going to add these claps here. Let's just hear what this sounds like. Well, that doesn't sound that interesting. I'm going to add another kick right here. So we're going to put the claps in between. How about right here? Okay, so now we should add some hi-hats. We'll put one in here. And then so, this is kind of more of a basic beat. We probably should add a snare. It's kind of nice to have a little snare. Is this a snare? Yeah, this is a snare. Okay, and then we can pick let's put I think this is a piano. Let's see what that is. I think it's a piano. So basically this piano thing is just a loop of a piano going over and over. It sounds like this. I think it's going to sound like this. Let's try this again. So that's an example of a loop. It just repeats itself over and over and over, which would be boring if you just did that over and over and over. We could add more things to it eventually, right? But this is what we would start with, and then we would add that drum beat, which is sounding. Your lead singer, man, I can't sing over that. You need something more electronic sound. I want something more upbeat. So it's like, all right, well, I'm going to go over to this sampler, and I'm going to create a beat, or a sample beat, by creating some kind of bass line. And at the same time, I just created one before I came over here, and a couple of them real quick, using that thing. And here is one of them. So. down here is the actual loop. So you can see it's called a wave. And all these pieces, these dark pieces that are going up and down, that is the sound, and that's the recording of it. And so what you heard there was the bass, right? So let's see what that would sound like if we move that up. So what I just did right there is I grabbed that bass loop that we just did, and I moved it up to right here. So now it's next to that drum pattern. And so let's see, because we just created a drum pattern. I don't know if it's going to work. Let's find out. That drum pattern is a little bit challenging with that bass line, so that's all right. So let's see if we can move things around. And then in the chorus, the part that people often refer to as the hook in the hip-hop world, that's where we might start to change that drum beat a little bit. We might change the way the hi-hats are coming in, the way the snares are coming in, and adjust those so that it kind of lifts the thing up. And then we might switch to, I don't know, switch to a different bass line, such as, let's see, try something like this.